was the last time President Biden spoke with Senator Sinema?
Don't have a call to read out to you at this time.
Can you tell us how he views his role in getting the Inflation Reduction Act over the finish line? I know you've been asked some version of this question probably every day this week. Trying to take another stab at it, though. What does he think he needs to do? Is he going to be picking up the phone? Will he be inviting Senator Sinema here? How does he view his role?
Well, I can tell you how he views this anti-inflation piece of legislation. He's grateful for it. He thinks it should be passed. He thinks it's going to change the lives of middle-class Americans across the country. When you think about the prescription drugs, when you think about lowering utility cost, this is going to be critical. When you think even about the ACA provisions, lowering healthcare costs as we talk about premiums and how important that is to many Americans. So that's how he sees his role in continuing to talk about it. We have been talking about these pieces, these components of this legislation for some time now. And so he's going to continue to have conversations. Our team is going to continue to have conversations with members of Congress. But he's been very clear. He wants to see this pass and to his desk so he can sign.
Given how important he believes it is, as you just laid out, he took a decidedly step back and let Senator Schumer and Manchin really be the two engaged in the negotiations to get the Inflation Reduction Act to this point. So I guess the question is, does he feel like he wants to have a more direct engagement in these final round of negotiations with Senator Sinema asking for changes?
So what we've been pretty clear about, I think for about a year, actually probably since the beginning of this year, is that we were not going to negotiate in public. We believed that the Senate, the House, they need to do their work. That we let them speak to the pieces of legislation that they're putting forth and they're trying to move forward. We support this. We support the work that Senator Schumer and Senator Manchin are doing. Again, this is incredibly important to the American people. I think, though, what is important, I know there's always this focus on Democrats and on what's happening with Democratic members in the Senate. I think what's important here is when you look at this bill, when you look at this this anti-inflation piece of legislation, and you look at the support across the country, it is bipartisan. It is bipartisan support. There was the Politico Morning Consult poll that came out yesterday. More than 70% of support for many components of that bill. And it's Republicans in Congress who are opposing this. They're the only ones who are opposing this. And I think that's what matters. What matters to us is what Democrats are trying to do and how we're trying to change the lives of the middle class.
Just very quickly, Senator Sinema is not yet supporting it, and based on our reporting, she is opposed to closing the carried interest tax loophole. Would the president support a final piece of legislation that did not include that?
Look, I can't speak for Senator Sinema. I'm not going to. She can speak for herself. I know that she's more than capable of doing that. What I can do is speak for this president and how he sees this piece of legislation that is so critical and important. And when you think about the corporate tax component, that 15%, you have corporations who are paying $0. And this is an opportunity to close that loophole. We've heard from many experts talk about how that 15% on corporate businesses is going to make a difference. It's going to be able to add that $300 billion so that we can bring down the deficit. It's going to be able to have Americans have lower costs. And so that's what we see and we think, and we have been very clear on that, how important it is to close that loophole and make sure that we're not increasing taxes on middle-class Americans that are making less than $400,000. And that does this. This act does that.
Great.